Hi, welcome to the TheRavensBrew. I'm Summer and that's Molly.
And today we are diving deep into one of the most secretive and eerie conspiracy theories of all time. Have you guys heard
Ooh.
of Dulce Base?
I, I've never heard of Dulce Base. Never.
Okay, so it's a secret underground facility in New Mexico, and some say it's where aliens and the government work together on some very, very dark projects. Okay?
Oh my, like what?
Well, I'm going to get to that. Dulce Base is said to be hidden under the Archuleta Mesa, hopefully I'm saying that right, near the small town of Dulce, New Mexico. The rumors about what goes on there have been going around since the late 70s.
Okay.
Okay. What's really wild about this conspiracy is that it's not just about UFOs. The stories say that there is a whole underground war going on between aliens, humans, and hybrid creatures due to genetic experiments, mind control, and extremely advanced technology.
Oh wow. That's a lot. That's deep.
That's crazy, right?
Very crazy. Super wild.
Now, you may ask who started it all, right? The answer is a former government engineer with top secret clearance. Okay. His name was Phil
Okay.
Schneider. He claimed to have worked on underground bases for the US government, which included the Dulce base. So he's saying he helped build this. Now, our friend Phil here, okay, had some crazy stories. According to him, in 1979, while he was working deep underground, he came face to face with tall, gray aliens. And the worst part was they did not come in peace. He said that when the government discovered the aliens living beneath Dulce, a shootout broke out between them, the humans and the extraterrestrials. Many lost their lives in what Phil named the Dulce Wars. It's wild, right?
Absolutely wild. That's really crazy.
So crazy. Now, Phil said that did not stop the government from covering it all up and continuing the experiments they were working on with the aliens, both humans and animals alike.
Oh wow.
Animals.
Okay.
Now, Phil Schneider is not the only one that has divulged into this theory, okay? Paul Benowitz, who earned a PhD in physics, also became convinced that something awful was going on because of the unexplained cattle mutilations that a New Mexico State police trooper, Gabe Valdez, had found.
Mm.
Both Officer Valdez and Paul were convinced they were caused by extraterrestrials. Extraterrestrials just cutting cows up out there, okay? Now,
Okay.
Officer Valdez also spoke about sightings of sophisticated spacecraft and discovery of something inside one of the mutilated cows, okay? Inside the cow.
Wild animal that's killing the cow. Coyotes don't work gas masks.
They're doing testing on cattle, and it's very apparent because he's found evidence. He has tangible things such as a gas mask, glow sticks, some sort of devices. It points to humans, not aliens.
Were your people able to ever figure out what this research is about?
We suspect that it's not disclosable.
It's not the who would be keeping this a secret.
Well, because of consequences. We're taking pictures of a lot of helicopter activity in the area. These were just taken 10 days.
And I think that if there was some kind of secretive organization operating here, they wouldn't have a huge emblem or logo on the side of their helicopter.
The aliens are so advanced in technology. Why do they leave all these physical evidence behind?
We have alternate opinions now on
Top or the aircraft came to. They didn't do the whole process. This is what we found inside the fetus of the mutilated cow. It was not a cow fetus. Some part of it was, and the other wasn't.
What are we looking at here? Is it
He said it was not a cow and not quite human, but something that looked like it had been experimented on and looked more like a cross between a human, a monkey, and a frog.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Can you even imagine what that would look like?
No, I really can't. Do you have a picture?
I mean, no.
Because it's in the top secret FBI files, right?
Correct. It's all shh. It's like
Right.
Area 21 for Dulce, New Mexico. Okay.
Okay, so it hasn't been declassified.
Not that I know of. Okay. Now, back to our friend Paul, the physicist. Okay. He wanted answers. So what he did is he set up a radio and intercepted electronic signals near the base. He was convinced that these signals were coming from underground and going toward an alien spacecraft up in the sky, because the town of Dulce was just too small to be receiving these signals. It just wouldn't happen.
Right.
Now, the base is said to have multiple layers, 7 to be exact. The upper layers are just normal government operations, so if you went down there, you would think nothing of it. But as you go deeper down into the lower levels, let me tell you, things start to get really weird. Genetic labs, hybrid creatures, people being experimented on. Some even say they were creating human-alien hybrids. Now, Phil Schneider said that one time he even saw humans and other creatures locked in cages in the lowest levels. Now, these men mentioned were not the only ones that have seen or heard mysterious things. According to some in the town of Dulce, the mountains north of town open up to allow alien spacecrafts to come into the genetics lab. Okay. The mountain literally just opens up for aliens to go right on in. Okay.
That's
Opens
weird.
up.
Okay. Okay.
At one time, there was a security tape containing evidence of these unexplained activities. Okay. So they did have a tape that showed these unexplained activities. Now, you might ask what happened to said tape. Well, a security guard stole the tape from the facility and buried it
Of course he did. Of course he
in a
did.
nearby valley. Okay.
Okay.
When he went back to recover the tape, he couldn't find it. And it is still missing to this day.
Sus.
Super sus, right?
Definitely.
Come on. If you're going to have a tape and then it just all of a sudden disappears.
Yeah, it's suspicious. Very suspicious.
And while there's no hard evidence to prove that there is, extraterrestrials, aliens, all this mind control going on and these cows being slaughtered by aliens, there are strange reports still. Lights in the sky.
To this day? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, to
Okay.
this day.
Are
And
there
there's
still cow mutilated?
You beat me to it.
Oh, there are. Okay.
Mutilated cattle, mysterious disappearances because they have to have somebody to guinea pig on. And
Okay.
the question is, could it all be connected to Dulce?
I mean, anything is possible, right?
Yeah. Now, the town of Dulce, New Mexico, they leaned into this strange happenings going on
Yeah.
to stimulate, obviously tourism.
Right.
So much for the fact that in 2016, the town hosted the Dulce Base UFO conference. And this was held at the local casino
Oh, okay.
and hotel. Now, something else you can do is you can also stay in a beautiful teepee in the middle of the desert to witness the alien activities yourself.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I think we should do
Right?
that. I
Maybe
would
we
love
should.
to do that.
I had beautiful pictures of it online.
Oh, wow. I would love to do that. Let's do that.
We should. Now, as I've explained through my little spiel, Dulce isn't just a conspiracy. It's the perfect storm of a conspiracy theories. UFOs, government secrecy, and some pretty terrifying possibilities.
Yeah, for sure. I could definitely see that.
So,
Do you think this is real? What do you think?
the more I've researched it, the more it seems almost legit. Okay?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. It's like what was interesting to me is the topic of the cattle. Like, it's like crop circles. Who would do that?
And I didn't say this earlier, but the officer, Valdez, when he found the mutilated cattle, they were mutilated. He found the thing inside the carcasses. He found other like fetus-looking things, but their heads were made of jelly. And
so gross. Okay.
He also found like glow sticks, gas masks, and random things like that. And he's like, there's no way that somebody could kill all of this cattle, slaughter all of this, mutate some alien, human, frog, monkey thing, and then be stupid enough to leave the evidence behind.
Right. That does seem a little careless for an alien species, right?
Right. But if they're in a rush and it's government trying to cover something up, maybe the government did that to make it look like some kids were playing a prank.
Oh, that's possible. Yeah, that's very possible for sure.
To get rid of their evidence.
But what would be the purpose of aliens needing to create human hybrids? And what would be the purpose of them coming to Earth and hiding in this mountain? They have their own planet.
Well, they wanted to do experiments with mind control. And they wanted to make a hybrid, like, super species, supposedly. Like, a mix between an alien and a human and, like all these animals, I guess, to make the perfect being.
Okay. What I thought when I was listening to this is like, what would be the purpose? What would be the purpose of them to come to Earth? Like, humans are an intelligent being, but are we as intelligent as aliens? And why would they come here to experiment on us? Like, it just really doesn't make any sense. It would make more sense if perhaps the theory was they're here to bully us in some way or pick on us.
Well, they are doing mind control experiments. So they're maybe trying to take over and make us little army ants. And make us just do whatever they want.
They don't want to sacrifice their own species to a war.
Would you want to? If you could mind control another species and leave all humankind alone, including children, women, the elderly, and just use somebody else's beings, as sacrificial
guess.
lambs. Like, wouldn't you?
I guess. I never really thought of it that way.
Now, it said that the government also had a pact with them that they were going to give them humans to experiment on as long as we got their very advanced technology to work with. So we made like a trade. Like, we'll give you our humans for some of your technology. I don't think that sounds very fair. I don't think it
Really?
sounds very... No.
Because their technology is more valuable or what?
Because I think a human life is more valuable. What are you talking about? You think a little kid's life isn't worth it? Like
a kid?
Yeah.
Oh,
like there's
I don't
just
think we're
all
talking
kinds
about
of
children. But
I mean, they've taken all kinds of people supposedly. Like there's all these mysterious, disappearances in Dulce, New Mexico. But it is on an Indian reservation, which I hear that happens more times than not, that something happens on Indian bases and they don't have the manpower to find the person or to
really research, investigate.
Yeah, really research and investigate.
Right. I can understand how they wouldn't have the resources for that. Sure.
I mean, it could be either way, like it could be the aliens. It could be our own government taking these people because the aliens don't want to come out and be seen. Right. Even though they're zipping around in their spaceship going through tunnels and mountains. But, like, I'm pretty sure they don't look like us. So they probably would be seen.
Well, they look more like us if they exist. I think they look more like us than they do like the gray beings with the weird eyes and the weird fingers. And I don't think they're sticky.
Like, I feel like they would feel like silicone. I don't know. I just imagine like a rubber
kind of silicone?
ball.
Oh,
like a rubber ball.
My mind went somewhere else.
But at the end of the day, like, it is crazy. Like, because there literally is, and I'll put it in the slide, but there literally is this area and there's like a circle and like other little things outside of Dulce, New Mexico. And it could be really deep and we don't know it. It could just be a water treatment plant for all we know.
That's true, yeah.
Like, I mean, but why is there random buildings in the middle of the desert?
And American bases, American government and military do experiments and stuff out in the desert.
On what?
So,
on what?
Well,
or on who?
Well, I didn't research this, so I'm just pulling this out of thin air. But,
I mean, you were in the military. What'd you do in the military?
Nothing cool. No, what I mean is like, isn't it called the Manhattan Project? The one that Albert Einstein worked on for the bombs of Hiroshima and Nagasaki? They did those experiments out in the desert to perfect the atomic bomb. So,
and now every country almost has an atomic bomb just waiting to go off.
Right. So like
that's
we use the desert for experiments, not just aliens.
Well, I mean, I know that the military does things like that and the government does things like that. Like, because that is the safest place, right?
Right.
But there are like signs, like Dulce, New Mexico. If there isn't aliens, they lean really hard into the aliens, just like Area 51 does. Like there's signs.
Oh, and Roswell. Like I went to
Roswell
Roswell a couple of years ago, and it was a really good time. Like their McDonald's is a freaking spaceship. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to tell you that we don't call them UFOs anymore. They are UAPs, by the way.
What does UAP stand for? Unavailable people.
You know, I looked it up today, but I forgot. I don't remember what it stands for.
It's because the government's come out and said that UFOs are real, so now we have to change their names.
Because they erased my memory.
The aliens erased your memory?
Good. Okay, so an unidentified flying object or an unidentified anomalous phenomenon.
So something that we can't explain.
Anomalous? Am I saying that right? I feel like I'm not saying that right. But yeah, so we have changed the name from UFO to UAP. And it's just any perceived airborne, submerged, or transmedium phenomenon that cannot be immediately identified or explained.
So when we see the white light zipping around,
no, girl, that's Starlink.
Side...
That is Starlink.
Starlink don't zip nowhere. It goes kind of slow. I don't know if you've seen it. I've seen it a lot. It goes slow.
I've seen Starlink, but I've also seen everybody posting on Facebook, what is this? And post a picture of Starlink. That's Starlink.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about, what about the mysterious crafts that go onto the side of the mountain in Dulce? Like, those
That's
are...
Scooby-Doo, girl. That's Scooby-Doo and Batman.
Batman to the rescue. Only in Dulce, New Mexico, which is a very small town.
Robin?
Another thing that I did read was that the scientist, this physicist, Paul Benowitz, he was later found to be crazy.
Ooh, like
mentally
schizophrenic?
ill.
Or what do you mean? Like, what
he had mental illnesses. They were not released, but he was found non-specific. And Phil Schneider, the engineer, passed away in the 90s from unknown circumstances, mysteriously.
Oh, wow.
Because
you think it had to do with the aliens?
Talking too much. Maybe he was talking too much.
The aliens whacked him?
Yeah.
Or you think the government whacked him?
Oh, the government, for sure.
The government? Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't the aliens. The aliens weren't like, I'm going to silence you.
No, it was the government silencing him. And the reason I say this is because I looked up like how to debunk these things, okay? Those are the only two things that I could really say that came up as a debunk. Everything else has come up as, I don't know, maybe not. Also, they are saying that the government has put this conspiracy out to cover up something more epic going on, I would say. Like more dangerous,
okay,
more crazy. And so they distracted us from one thing and pay attention to another. And it just happened to be Dulce Base in New Mexico. And so they're saying that it's not real, but they made it look real and they made it seem real so that we weren't paying attention to something else that was happening that they didn't want us to know anything about.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I mean, I do believe that is real. Like, I do believe that, like, they throw out red herrings all the time to get us thinking about something other than what we should be thinking about.
All the time. Every day.
All the time. Every day.
I mean, these gray aliens could have just been somebody in a costume walking around, freaking people out. And
that's true. You know what that reminds me of, though? Like, off the top of my head, you remember when, like, in 2016, I think it was, everyone was leaving like red balloons on the sewer.
For it? Because
For it, yeah.
And then the clowns that were like just like
Yeah.
coming out of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
They
that
were
reminds
covering
me of.
they were covering something up there too. They were distracting us again.
I agree. For sure.
I think they distract us a lot, and I think that the Dulce Base in New Mexico is an unsolved mystery that we may never know the answers to in our lifetime.
Agree.
It definitely could be something, or it definitely could be nothing. So audience, you guys, our besties, what do you think? Could something sinister really be happening? Or is it just one big hoax?
Let us know what you think in the comments. Yeah.
And we'll make sure to shout you out and answer questions as much as we can. Make sure you like the episode, comment, and subscribe.
Thanks for tuning in.
As always, stay curious and be mysterious.